All right, we have some big news, and we're going to get right into it. There's an interview with Jeffrey Epstein's brother where he says that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were very interconnected, and Jeffrey definitely had information on Donald Trump that could have led to his downfall. I don't know why he didn't release it. We're going to get into that. We also now have reporting from an author who says that Melania met Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania to Trump, and that Jeffrey Epstein and Melania were actually originally lovers. Yes, and this was all going to be put in a book, but Melania stopped it. I wonder why she got that taken out of the book. Let's just get into Jeffrey Epstein first, Mark Epstein, who said this about what Jeffrey knew about Trump.
Jeffrey, in 2016, I said this publicly before, Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. And you could see in the emails, Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear. I mean, everything Trump says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about.
It's provable that he was in Jeffrey's office. He said he wasn't in the house. It's provable he was there. He said everything he says is a lie.
No, he went on to say this.
What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out of it. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
So that's something we're talking about a lot. By the time this video probably comes out, the files will have been voted on by probably majority of Congress to pass for the Epstein files to be released. But we're now getting word that what's likely going to happen is that the Senate is going to redact many names. Now, I'm not sure if they're going through the files one by one, as this man alleges, but we do know that Mike Johnson has said just that. This is Thomas Mashy sharing this, said, "This is how Speaker Johnson plans to protect perverts who went to the rape island from embarrassment. Do not let the Senate add an amendment to avoid disclosing those rich and powerful men who have evaded justice for so many years." Is Johnson calling all victims non-credible? He said, and this is what Johnson was talking about, dangers of the discharge petition. 1, victim privacy does not adequately protect victims. 2, innocent persons risk disclosure of non-credible allegations, creating new victims. So they're going to try to say that there are people who are in these files who are perpetrators of crimes who are the actual victims because there's non-credible allegations. Just release all the files. Just release all the files. Now, people are going through these files, and here's one thing we've learned.
Well, I just found a fun little nugget. I was doing my little keyword searches through all these documents, and I looked up Trump Tower, and look what popped up. On the morning of November 13th, 2016, Linda Stone emails Jeffrey Epstein asking if he's still in Paris. And he responds back, like not even an hour later, saying Trump Tower. Okay, so not in Paris because there's no Trump Tower in Paris, which means he likely means Trump Tower in New York City. Well, what was going on at Trump Tower in November of 2016? In November of 2016, they transitioned Trump Tower into the whole presidential transition headquarters. There were a shit ton of security measures that needed to be implemented, and anyone coming in and out needed to go through thorough screening because of security. Which then makes this comment from Trump in the Oval Office in 2019 even more damning, where he says that he hasn't spoken to Epstein in 15 years. Bro was literally in Trump Tower not 3 years before helping with the fucking transition.
Yeah. Donald Trump is in deep doo-doo. He's in deep doo-doo. And that's why people are alleging that this is what's going to happen when Trump finally leaves office.
Okay. Here's my thought on Ghislaine Maxwell and Trump. And I'm really doing this video just so I have proof that I said this, because I'm telling you it's going to happen. I believe that he told Ghislaine Maxwell, keep your mouth shut, and I will put you in the poshest prison as I can. I cannot pardon you right now. They will lynch me. I cannot do that. But keep your mouth shut, maybe even say something nice about me, and I'll put you in a cozy prison. And then on my way out, if I have to leave, and on my way out, I'll pardon you. Just keep your mouth shut.
Absolutely. And you are very smart, because you left comments saying that, and I was like, why isn't he pardoning her now? Or why doesn't he just say he's not going to do it? And you made a really good point where the reason why he is not saying yes or no about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell is he needs her to feel like it could happen in the future. And so he can't say one way or another. So he can't say no and make the MAGA base feel reassured that he is on their side. He also can't say yes because that would freak out MAGA. But if he says no, then Ghislaine would maybe want to speak or try to get some sort of, put some sort of pressure on him. So I think that's definitely what is happening with the pardons. Now, someone who also is staying pretty quiet is Melania Trump. Now, this is biographer Andrew Lowney, who wrote a book about Epstein, and he alleged that Melania met Trump through Epstein and that Melania was actually Epstein's lover. Now, this is put into a book, and I'm going to tell you what happened after the clip.
So here we are with him in Mar-a-Lago, as you see with Epstein. Sorry, can you see okay? Epstein, a woman called Gwendolyn Beck, who Andrew took to the island, and Melania. I had various references in my book to Melania Trump. Epstein had actually been her lover before Trump, but Trump didn't like that in the book, so he ordered it to be taken out of the book. After about 60,000 copies had been printed. So it seemed to be a pretty pointless gesture, but anyway, our publishers did it, but I keep spreading the word.
I want a copy of the original book. I want a copy of the original book. And as you said, yeah, Trump sued them and they were able to have that happen. They were able to remove that from the book. The First Lady's team is forcing retractions and apologies over published claims involving Epstein. Her husband's administration is balking at releasing more of the FBI's files about the sexual predator whose 2019 death in prison was ruled in suicide. It does not allege that Melania Trump was involved in any illegal or unethical conduct, but does claim that Epstein facilitated the meeting between her and Donald Trump. After the book was published on August 14th, Melania's legal team demanded the passages be removed and that HarperCollins UK apologized for publishing false content. Yeah, so again, this is so interconnected. It's kind of crazy. Now, about that email with Bubba, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, said this.
I got literally, it sent to me a dozen times this weekend. Did you see the emails between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother, Mark? Did you see? It's proof that Epstein was covering and had stuff on Trump as his sex life. This back and forth with Jeffrey, where he tells you that Bannon is with him, and you say, oh, great, ask him if Putin still has photos of Donnie T, I'm assuming President Trump, with blowing, which we all know what that means, Bubba.
Let me stop you here. I'm not discussing that email. This is a private email between Jeffrey and myself. There's two brothers talking. It's nobody's business what we wrote. The only thing I responded to is because people got crazy with the Bubba reference and they tried to pin it on Clinton. So I made a public statement that it was not any reference to Bill Clinton. I like Bill Clinton, and I'm sorry for him that he had to go through that. But the email had nothing to do with Clinton. And that's my last word on that email.
I'm just going to say that Ghislaine's horse is also named Bubba, was named Bubba. Just saying. So there's listen, the House just voted and passed that the Epstein files should be released, and that is now going to the Senate, where that we're going to see if they actually let the full files be released, if they try to do some sort of shenanigans. But clearly there's a lot behind this that they don't want us to look at. And I do think that Trump and Epstein are much more interconnected than the White House or Trump would like us to believe. Certainly when you are suing a book publisher for releasing a story about how you met and who your previous lover was, and then the author is so certain about that evidence that he's saying it, even though they're not allowing it in the book, to me is very telling. Very telling. Well, we're going to keep following this like we do all things. So do please hit like so more people see this video. Subscribe so you can see the next one, and I'll see you soon. Bye.